Hello, my fellow humans, especially my law enthusiast humans. I had trouble sleeping, and so I ended up learning about this in the middle of the night, and it messed up my whole morning, but we get this video now, and that is that there is some speculation and reports that former Astronomer CEO Andy Byron is going to try to sue Coldplay. If you will remember, or maybe you missed it. Sometimes people miss things. There was this moment a couple weeks ago that went viral at a Coldplay concert when the Jumbotron, also known as the Kiss Cam, had caught these two in what seemed to be a cute little embrace. But when they saw that they were on there, they both freaked out. And the lead singer of Coldplay, Martin, was like, wait, no, you're good. Well, either they're having an affair or they're very shy. You know, he was trying to make a joke. However, he was absolutely correct. As it turns out, both of them were having an affair because both of them were married, just not to each other. And in the fallout of this, these two people, there was the Astronomer CEO, Andy Byron, and then he was having an affair with Kristen Cabot, who is his head of HR. There was also this woman, and we'll talk about her in just a second, but both of these two reportedly are now going through a divorce. And weeks after the Kiss Cam made him a viral meme with other mascots and people mimicking the thing, because she turned around and tried to cover her face. And you'll notice that in both of these pictures, I have them in the "we're so screwed" moment that they were caught doing. And then Andy decided to brilliantly duck and hide behind an acrylic transparent wall. I guess you do things when you're in a panic. And now he is reportedly, oh, by the way, did you know this happened in Massachusetts? Everything's been going down in Massachusetts. Massachusetts, are you okay? And he is reportedly going to sue them. Now, I will say that at this moment, around noon on July 31st, 2025, there are currently no actual official legal filings that have been done. There have been no motions filed or put forth. These are just things that have been reported that he is looking into legal action against Coldplay. And what is he going to sue for? Getting caught having an affair isn't really illegal. I mean, you shouldn't be having an affair. That's good. That's not good. But as far as legality, what is this man trying to go to? Well, according to the reports, which I will link to all of my references below, including the viral moment in case you missed it or just want to see it again, they want to claim that he's going for defamation, emotional distress, and breach of privacy claims, because he says that there was irreparable damage done to his relationship and to his career. Both Kristen and Andy had to step down from their roles just due to the recognizance of them on this Kiss Cam. Now, what's really funny about that is their extreme reaction to that. If they would have just kind of looked at it and went, and went on with it, nobody would have thought twice. It's their own insane that caused this to be viral and have it all get out there in the first place. They did this to themselves, in other words. And he is trying to sue. Now, I would like to say that I don't think that that's going to go over very well. Like, even if he tries, it's going to get dismissed, like, automatically. I don't think it will go anywhere because first of all, the defamation. Let's go over to the defamation. Defamation, to be defamed, means that somebody said something false about you that caused you to lose your job, your reputation, okay? It made your name look bad. And it was allegations that are false. Coldplay didn't make you have an affair. Coldplay didn't, like, he was making a joke going either he was just doing a basic human reaction thing, like seeing that reaction to them. He was like, well, they're either having an affair or they're really, really shy. That's not that's not defaming you. If you do something wrong, if you do something bad, just because something makes you look bad, if it's true, it's not defamation. If it happened, it's not defamation. Andy, you were having an affair, Mr. Bryon. You did that. You made a series of choices. You and Kristen Cabot made a series of choices that led to that moment. You both decided to be flirtatious and return flirtations at work. You both were carrying on an affair, outer marital affairs. You both decided to buy concert tickets together. You both chose to go to the concert together. You both decided to be in a loving embrace watching a concert together. That's what happened. You made all of those choices. So you're not being defamed. You're just facing consequences. Breach of privacy. You're at a concert. Majority of concert venues and concert tickets will come with a disclaimer that, you know, you will be seen, especially a place like Coldplay. They will say that it will diminish, that you can be seen. You might be put on camera. There's going to be filming. Any place that has a kiss cam or the Jumbotron going, it is a part of buying the ticket process that, you know, in the terms of service, that it says there is filming. There is a possibility that you will be filmed, seen on film, etc. And by accepting the buy now tickets and stuff like that, and the I've read the terms and services little check mark, apparently he didn't, but he bought the tickets. You were at the concert. So that means you agreed to the understanding of the Jumbotron's presence at the concert, which means that the expectation of privacy in public settings is slim. You have a much less, and this is where celebrities kind of get into this thing when they're in the public eye and then they're out in public. It might be annoying to get bombarded by fans, but there is not an expectation of privacy. There's not a reasonable expectation of privacy when you're not in a private setting. And a concert is not a private setting. You are in a very, very public setting with lots of other people. Who's to say, okay, who's to say that some, like your wife's best friend or one of your wife's brothers or something wasn't at that concert and wouldn't have looked over and seen you? The fallout would have been the same. He would have been like, you were having an affair. I saw you with this person. They would probably have taken a photo, showed it to your wife. Your wife would have sent it to work and been like, that's the head of HR. And so all of those consequences would have been the same had someone who known you personally been at that concert and witnessed you doing that exact same thing versus being put on the Jumbotron. He also is saying that there's emotional distress, that he is now a laughingstock because of the meme. Once again, if you had played it a little smoother, it wouldn't have happened. Ducking behind an acrylic wall and, you know, immediately letting go of your embrace going is not, that's what went viral. It was your response, not that you were caught on the Jumbotron to begin with. It was the reaction that you had. Lost the word for a second there. So I don't see this going anywhere. It is just amusing to think that because these two have to face consequences of their actions, they think they're entitled to legal action. They can try, but it's not really going to go anywhere. And I don't think Coldplay has anything to worry about because they're like, did you say I read and accept the TOS? Did you? Fantastic. That's not my problem anymore. Your affair is not my issue. So that's where I think that's going. I just really wanted to get that out there. And by the way, we are going to touch on this woman here. I believe she was either a friend or an associate of at least Kristen's, because Kristen had moved over to her. She had her back to the camera and she was kind of talking to the woman. And based on her mannerisms and actions, I think she was going, is it gone? Is it gone? Is it gone? And meanwhile, the woman's sitting there going, please don't talk to me. I don't want to be associated with this. This isn't my business. Please stop. Oh, God. That was what I interpret her facial expression to be. She didn't actually say those things. There are no reports that she actually said those things. I really hate that I have to be that declarative on the internet. because internet. But yeah, so that's an interesting thing. What do you think? Do you think that Mr. Bryon has a claim to an expectation of privacy at a public concert? Or do you think, yeah, if they hadn't put that up there, then he would have been able to quietly mind his own business and continue having his affair? Yeah, clearly I'm thinking if you're on Byron's side, then maybe you're not. Another little tidbit that I also learned. Gwyneth Peltrow became a temporary spokesperson for Astronomer. They have her doing PR crisis. Yeah, Goop owner, Mrs. Boo. They have her being the crisis control spokesperson, at least temporarily. That's just a thing that happened. I don't know. Tell me your opinion about that. Do you think that's... I thought that was crazy. I'm like, does she have those qualifications? I will also link to that below. Anyway, that was just... I learned about that and I was like, well, I have something to talk about now. Alright, I will talk to you all later. Bye, my lovely humans. The craziness in Massachusetts, though, man.